Guys, welcome back to CODEIN. So last time we have discussed about how we can create a form tag, what is the input tag and what is the label tag. Now in this lesson I am going to discuss about how we can create our own sign up page and what are the tags that are involved in that and what are the inputs type available in a form tag. So guys, if you like the content what I post, do like it, share it and also subscribe to my channel. Whenever we are talking about a form, so basically we know that whenever I'm using a form, I include a form tag into it. And also I have told you about the two elements that are involved in a form tag, that is the input element and the label element. So basically a sign up page is including the details of all the content that a user want to enter, like his Gmail ID, password, username, first name, last name, its gender, and basically all the content will be taken in by a sign up page, or we can say it as a registration page also. And I'm going to explain you this with the help of an example, and you will get this desired output as I've shown you on the screen of the sign up page. So let's understand with the help of coding this particular sign up page. I told you that in this lesson we are going to create a sign up page. So as you can see, I have opened a notepad file. I have given a notepad file named as sign up, and then I have created the HTML, and then I have written the title, creating a sign up page, and then I have closed the title and have added a background to the HTML document and given it an image, that is signup.jpg. As we all know how we have to include a background. Then I have given a center line text in which I have given a h1 element. Basically the element h1 is used to give the heading in a bolded form. So whenever I sign up in h1 and then close the center tag, the heading sign up will be displayed in the center and it will be bold as it is written in the h1 tag. Now I've opened a form tag in which you can see that I have defined a label. First of all, I am defining the labels for the first name and the last name. So we all know the syntax to define a label. That is the label for first name and the last name. If you don't know how we define a label, you can watch my previous video that I have defined you about how we can declare forms in HTML. And also you can watch that video. It is available in the right hand side of link is coming out, that how we can create forms in HTML. You can also visit there also. So here what we have done, we have created an input type text and named it as FN. After that we are creating the similar label for the last name, in which we have created a for name label and defined it as last name. And after that I have given the input equals to text and the name is equals to the last name. So here you can see that in the first case I have written name equals to FN. In the second case I am writing the name equals to LN. So basically this is given as a ID to the name, that whatever we are printing, what type of data it includes. So here we are telling that it includes the text type data. So just defining the ID that this is the used for first name and this is used for last name. Then I have used a break tag so that the first name and last name will be printed in one single line, and after that using a break tag I have written that label for user. So basically in this label for user it will enter the username. So whenever I'm talking about the username basically means that name that a user will use. Like whenever you log in into any of your social media accounts like maybe Instagram, Facebook, you have to provide a username with that. So in this case I have given you the example that how we will ask for a username. So in that case also the input type will be text. In text we can enter numbers also and we can enter alphabets also. Next is the case that we have a label for equals to the password. So whenever I'm talking about the password, so as you all know, we have also done the previous video also, then I have used the label for password. So in that case I was using the input type is equals to password. So whenever I'm using the input type equals to password, so it will not enter the data in the form of characters. It will show me the data in the form of black dots, which means that we have entered a password over there. Then I have closed the input tag and I have then given it a name equals to pass, and then I have used the break tag, so it will be displayed in the next line. Basically we are using all the break tag over here so that we can move towards the next line. So guys, you can see that I have defined a label for equals to the gender, and then I have defined a gender in which I have closed the label. Just it is used to define that I am now using a label for gender, and the gender will be male and female I am using over here. So the label for equals to male, and in this case I have written the male. then I have closed the label, and then I have input type is radio. So now when I am using over here a radio type, because gender could be male or female based upon the person who is entering the data. So it will choose either the male or the female when I have used the radio button. Radio button is used to check only one of the item. So the difference between a radio button and checkbox is, when I am using a checkbox, in the checkbox case I will use different forms and will click multiple number of forms. That is known as a checkbox. So whenever I am talking about a radio button is used to check only one single format. So here you can see that input type equals to radio, and the name I have given is that gender. By the name we will give it as gender because it will help me identify that which value of the data I need to take, whether male or the female. So it will help me take out one of the data. After that, you see that I have defined a label which is telling me the female part, and then other was the male part. Now I defined a label for the email. When I am talking about the email label, that label I have defined the email ID. So whenever I will use this kind of email ID purpose, so in that case I will write the input type equals to email. While write the input type as email, so whenever a user enters the email, like you must be familiar whenever you are signing up a page, so what you see over there, if you have entered an email ID and not using @ in it, so it will show you that you cannot sign up that page because something is missing. So if you are not typing it as an email, so it will take it as accordingly. But if you are writing the type as email, so it will ask you to enter the @ also, because that is the proper format of writing an email. Next, you can see that I have defined a label for date of birth. In the date of birth label, basically it will ask you the date of your birth when you were born. So in that case I have given here input type equals to date and the name equals to DOB. So input type equals to date will help me fetch the date whenever I want to enter my date of birth, like whatever year it is and whatever date it is, then it will help me enter that particular date. It will be printed in the form of a date, as you will see in the output also. Then I have a input type equals to submit and value equals to submit. So basically what is the use of this input type equals to submit? Whenever I will click on the submit button, my data will be saved and it will be saved into a database. In this case we are not using any database, we are just defining the submit button so that I can get the desired output. Means the output that I enter over there will be vanished, and just the content will be shown me to blank, that it has been submitted to some place. I have given the value equals to submit because it will show me the details of that data. You can see that I have get the desired output. So whenever I will enter the data, it will enter the data according to the content that I have given to it. In the first name I have given the content as the text. In the second also, last name also I have given the content as text. After that I have given the username also text, so it is entering the text. Then I have asked for the password. So in the password case it was telling me the data like in the form of password. Then I have defined the gender. It will let me choose one of the gender. Then I have defined the email ID, in which email ID you can see I have skipped the data. I have not entered @. In that, after that I have defined the date of birth, in which I am selecting the date. You can also select the date from the calendar also. Here in case I have submitted. Then I have submitted the tag. Then you can see that I am getting an error that @ is not defined in your Gmail. So when after that I will submit the data, you can see that it is vanished but not been shown somewhere because I have not created a database. For database we need to understand PHP, so I will be explaining you how we can add data in database also in my further lesson. So guys, I think you must be clear about how do we declare a sign up page. Guys, I think you must be pretty much clear that how do we define a sign up page and how we can create our own sign up page. Similarly, you can also create a login page by using the different tags which we have learned till now. And if you don't know any of the tag, you can also check in the playlist which is in my channel. And so guys, if you like the content what I post, do like it, share it, and also subscribe to my channel. You can also connect me on my Instagram, and also you can connect me on my website for the design role. So thank you guys for watching.